You think a 30-foot anaconda is the king of the jungle? That it represents the absolute peak of snake power? Well, what if I told you that today's giants are just faint echoes of what came before? What if I told you there was a snake so massive it might have hunted crocodiles for a snack, a nearly 50-foot monster that ruled its corner of the world 60 million years ago? This isn't science fiction. This is the story of the biggest snakes in wildlife history, stretching from the dawn of the age of mammals to the murky riverbeds of today. We're about to journey from the humid, superheated swamps of the past to the dense jungles of the present to meet the largest serpents that have ever slithered across the earth. So get ready, because the creatures we're about to meet are going to completely reset your definition of giant. Before we fire up the time machine to visit a lost world of monsters, we need a baseline. We need to know what a giant snake looks like today. For that, we head to the slow-moving rivers and swamps of South America, the home of the undisputed king of weight and bulk, the green anaconda. The green anaconda, or Eunectes murinus, is a masterpiece of evolution, built to rule the water. While it's not the longest snake in the world, we'll get to that champ in a minute, it is by far the heaviest. A typical adult female, who is much larger than the male, can easily hit 15 feet and weigh over 200 pounds, but those are just the averages. The heaviest officially recorded anaconda weighed a jaw-dropping 227 kilograms, or 500 pounds. This monster was over 27 feet long, with a girth of more than 3 feet around. Imagine a snake that weighs as much as a baby grand piano, a slithering beast of pure muscle so dense it practically has its own gravity in the water. Anacondas are semi-aquatic, and they use the water to support their incredible bulk. They are masters of the ambush. Their olive-green skin, covered in big black blotches, is perfect camouflage in the murky, debris-filled water they hunt in. An anaconda will lie perfectly still, often with just its eyes and nostrils above the surface, waiting for prey to get a little too close. And its menu is pretty much anything it can get its coils around, from large fish and birds to capybaras, caimans, deer, and every so often, even a jaguar. The anaconda is a constrictor. It doesn't need venom. Its power comes from its unbelievable musculature. When it strikes, it grabs its prey with jaws full of backward-facing teeth, designed for one thing: holding on. Instantly, it throws its body into a set of inescapable coils. Now, the common myth is that they break bones, but the reality is way more efficient. With every breath the panicked animal exhales, the anaconda tightens its grip, crushing the organs and preventing the lungs from ever refilling. It's a slow, methodical hug of death. Just recently, in 2024, our understanding of these giants got a major update. Scientists officially recognized a new, distinct species, the northern green anaconda. Genetically, it's a stunning 5.5% different from its southern cousin. To put that in perspective, humans and chimpanzees are only about 2% different. While not yet confirmed, some local reports claim this new species could rival or even surpass the southern anaconda in size, with rumors of snakes weighing over 10 pounds. For now, the green anaconda is our living benchmark for serpentine power, a true heavyweight champ, but it's not the longest. For the title of the world's longest snake, we have to travel to the rainforests and woodlands of Southeast Asia, home of the reticulated python. Where the anaconda is all about bulk, the python is about one thing: unbelievable length. These snakes regularly blow past 20 feet. The longest snake ever held in captivity was a reticulated python named Medusa, who measured an official 25 feet and 2 inches. But even Medusa might be small compared to some legends from the wild. The longest though disputed reticulated python ever documented was supposedly found back in 1912 and measured a mind-bending 10 meters, or just under 33 feet. That's longer than a giraffe is tall. Unlike the bulky, water-loving anaconda, the reticulated python is a more slender, versatile predator. Its name comes from its incredible skin pattern, a geometric lattice of black, brown, and yellow that makes it vanish against the forest floor. They're masters of both the ground and the trees, using their powerful muscles to climb in search of prey. Like the anaconda, they are powerful constrictors that ambush their prey, capable of taking down large animals like birds, primates, and even pigs or deer. And, tragically, their power has been proven in rare but horrifying encounters with humans. In one documented case, a 23-foot python in Indonesia was found to have swallowed an adult woman, a grim reminder of its capabilities. So, in the modern world, we have a tale of two titans, the green anaconda, the undisputed king of weight, and the reticulated python, the unrivaled king of length. Together, they are the absolute peak of what snakes can do in today's world. But to find the real giants, the ones that make today's champs look like lightweights, we need to leave our time behind. We have to rewind the clock, way back to a world that was hotter, wetter, and ruled by reptiles. We are traveling back to the Eocene epoch, which lasted from about 56 to 34 million years ago. Earth was a greenhouse. The poles were ice-free, and lush forests stretched from one end of the globe to the other. In this sweltering, high CO2 world, cold-blooded animals had a huge advantage. Higher temperatures fueled their metabolism, letting them grow to sizes that seem impossible to us today. And in this ancient world, giant snakes weren't the exception, they were the rule. Our first stop is the former Trans-Saharan Seaway, a vast, shallow sea that once covered what is now North Africa. In these warm waters, you'd find early whales, giant sea turtles, and massive crocodiles. But something else is in the water with you, something colossal. This is the hunting ground of Palaeophis colosseus, the largest sea snake ever discovered. From its fossilized vertebrae, scientists think this monster could reach up to 40 feet long, the length of a modern school bus. It was an apex predator of its marine world, likely hunting large fish and maybe even small, primitive whales. Palaeophis shows that the push for gigantism wasn't just happening on land, it was happening in the oceans too. Moving from the sea to the swamps of ancient Egypt and Algeria, around 40 million years ago, we'd find another titan, Gigantophis garstini. For a long time, Gigantophis was believed to be the largest snake of all time, estimated at around 35 feet long. It was a powerful constrictor that likely preyed on the ancestors of elephants and large crocodiles that shared its swampy home. Gigantophis was a true monster, but its reign as the biggest snake in history would eventually be shattered by a discovery that truly shocked the world. For decades, the story of the biggest snake of all time seemed pretty settled. But science is a story that's constantly being updated. In 2024, a new challenger entered the ring, a creature whose discovery is forcing us to rethink the very limits of how big a snake can get. The story starts back in 2005, in a lignite mine in Gujarat, India. Paleontologists found 27 huge, beautifully preserved vertebrae. For years, they were thought to belong to an ancient crocodile. But after nearly 2 decades of careful analysis, the truth came out. These were the bones of a colossal snake. It was a new species named Vasuki indicus, after the mythical serpent king from Hindu mythology. Vasuki lived around 47 million years ago, during that same warm Eocene period. And it was simply enormous. Based on its vertebrae, scientists have estimated its length to be somewhere between 36 and an incredible 49.9 feet. If that upper estimate is correct, Vasuki could be the longest snake that has ever existed, potentially snatching the crown. It was part of the same extinct snake family as Gigantophus, suggesting it was a slow-moving, ambush predator, probably lying in wait for prey in the swamps of the Indian subcontinent. The discovery of Vasuki is a huge deal. It proves that giant snakes weren't a one-off freak of nature. They evolved independently in different parts of the world, on different continents, all taking advantage of a warmer global climate to push their bodies to unbelievable sizes. The question now is, was Vasuki truly the king? While its length might rival or even beat the old record holder, the title of the heaviest and most powerful snake of all time still belongs to one creature. A monster that lived 10 million years earlier, in a world fresh from the ashes of the dinosaurs. To meet the undisputed champion, we have to go back even further, to the Paleocene epoch, around 60 million years ago. This was the world that emerged after the asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs. With the giant predatory dinosaurs gone, there was a power vacuum, and a new kind of reptile slithered up to become the planet's top predator. Its name is Titanoboa cerrejonensis, the titanic boa from Cerrejon. Its fossils were first discovered in the early 2000s in the massive Cerrejon coal mine in Colombia, one of the richest fossil sites in the world. What scientists pulled out of the ground was staggering. Vertebrae wider than a human hand. At first, they thought they belonged to ancient crocodiles, but it quickly became clear they were looking at a snake of almost unimaginable size. By comparing the fossils to the vertebrae of modern anacondas, paleontologists calculated its size. Titanoboa reached a length of 42 to 47 feet longer than a T-Rex and weighed an estimated 500 pounds, well over a ton. It was as heavy as a small car, with a body so thick it would come up to your waist. It is still the heaviest snake ever recorded. Titanoboa's immense size was only possible because of the world it lived in. As a cold-blooded animal, its body temperature depended on its environment. For a 1-ton reptile to even exist, the rainforests of Paleocene Colombia must have been incredibly hot, with average temperatures between 86 and 93 degrees Fahrenheit. This sweltering, supercharged world let Titanoboa grow to a scale that just isn't possible in today's cooler climate. For years, everyone assumed a snake this big must have hunted like a giant anaconda, preying on the huge turtles and crocodile relatives in its swampy habitat. And it probably did. But a later discovery of a Titanoboa skull, an incredibly rare find, revealed a surprise. Its teeth were structured in a way that suggested it might have been a specialized fish-eater. This doesn't mean it couldn't crush a giant turtle, it just means it may have had a more focused diet than we first thought, dominating both the water and the land. Titanoboa was the undisputed king of its world, a true monster from a unique moment in Earth's history. We've met the giants of today and traveled through time to find the titans of the past. It's a story millions of years in the making. If you're finding this journey into our planet's monstrous past as incredible as I am, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It helps us keep bringing these lost worlds back to life. Now, for the question that's on everyone's mind, what would happen if these two ultimate giants actually met? It's time for the ultimate hypothetical battle, a clash of titans separated by 60 million years of evolution. In one corner, the champion of the modern era, the heaviest snake alive today, the green anaconda. And in the other, the undisputed, heavyweight champion of all time, the monster of the Paleocene, Titanoboa. Let's look at the tail of the tape. For the green anaconda, we'll use a massive, record-class female. Length, up to 29 feet. Weight, up to 550 pounds, or about a quarter of a ton. Weaponry, a master of aquatic ambush and a brutally powerful constrictor, capable of taking down some of the toughest predators in its habitat, including caimans and jaguars. Its game is all about patience, camouflage, and overwhelming force in one explosive attack. And for Titanoboa. Length, up to 47 feet. Weight, a staggering 500 pounds, more than 4 times the weight of our biggest anaconda. Weaponry, sheer, unimaginable power, a constrictor whose force would have been almost incalculable. Its immense size meant it was likely slower on land but terrifyingly powerful in the water, where its mass was supported. It lived in a world of giants and was the biggest giant of them all. The arena, a vast, murky, prehistoric swamp, the kind of place both snakes would call home. This isn't a battle of venom or speed, this is a battle of pure, raw, crushing power. The fight begins. The anaconda, a master of stealth, does what it does best. It vanishes, sinking beneath the water's surface, its green and black pattern melting into the swamp's shadows. It waits, looking for the perfect moment to strike, to latch onto a vulnerable spot on the bigger snake. Its only real shot is a perfectly executed ambush. But Titanoboa is on another scale entirely. It moves through the water, not with stealth, but with the unnerving confidence of an apex predator that has no predators of its own. Its sheer size sends ripples across the swamp, announcing its approach. The anaconda sees its chance, an opening, as the colossal form of Titanoboa glides past. It lunges, jaws clamping down on Titanoboa's flank. For a split second, it has a hold. But this is like a wolf biting an elephant. The bite, powerful by any modern standard, barely registers on the thick, muscular hide of the prehistoric titan. Titanoboa almost doesn't seem to notice. It turns slowly, deliberately, its massive head swinging around to face its tiny attacker. The anaconda, realizing its colossal mistake, tries to let go, to retreat into the murky depths, but it's far too late. With a speed that defies its size, Titanoboa strikes. Its massive jaws engulf the anaconda's head and upper body. It doesn't need a perfect grip, its mouth is a cavern, and then, the ancient snake brings its ultimate weapon to bear, its body. A single, massive coil wraps around the anaconda, then another. The anaconda, itself one of the most powerful constrictors on Earth, is now the one being constricted. It thrashes, but its own powerful muscles are useless against a foe that weighs over a ton. The pressure is immense, a force of nature that the anaconda has no evolutionary answer for. There is no struggle, there is no drawn-out battle. It is a terrifying and swift display of overwhelming power. The winner, without a shadow of a doubt, is Titanoboa. The green anaconda is a true giant, a fearsome and powerful predator that rules its ecosystem today. But in this fight, it's simply outclassed in every single physical way. The size difference is just too much to overcome. Titanoboa was 4 to 5 times heavier and significantly longer. The force it could generate would be exponentially greater. The anaconda's greatest weapons, ambush and constriction, are completely useless against an animal of such monumental scale. Titanoboa represents a peak in reptilian evolution, the product of a hotter planet that allowed life to reach sizes we can barely comprehend today. It's a humbling reminder that as impressive as the giants of our time are, they are living in the shadow of the true titans of wildlife history. Who do you think would win in a fight between the seafaring Paleophis and the new contender Vasuki? Let us know what ultimate showdown you want to see next in the comments below. Thanks for watching.